We're here at the National Memorial Arboretum in the Midlands of England. We're about 1.5 hours rail journey north of London, and this is the National Memorial of Remembrance for England. It's actually been placed here because it's accessible for most of the English population within a day's drive there and back. And this particular memorial has 150 acres of parkland and grounds, and within that there are actually 300 separate memorials and over 500 benches individually named in remembrance of service personnel, and thousands of trees that represent ships sunk, individual people or particular units. The first trees at the Arboretum here were planted in the 1990s, and since then they have grown, more trees have been put in, and in 2007 this particular area was formally dedicated, and it now gets 250,000 visitors a year. Although it's predominantly British in terms of the names and the memorials and the units, there's other organisations and other military units also remembered here as well. Not far away from here is a row of eucalypt trees, and that's been dedicated to the Royal Australian Air Force. Elsewhere there are some rails that have been brought from the Burma Railway in remembrance of the POWs that served both in Burma and also for memorials of Changi. This is our last day on the Premier's ANZAC Memorial Scholarship. Tomorrow we fly back to Australia, and it's certainly been a roller coaster of emotions as we've travelled across France and Belgium and visited places of commemoration. We've learned about some of the great successes that Australians had, particularly in World War I. We've also learned of some of the terrible defeats, and we've learned about the many different ways in which our service personnel have been commemorated. Yesterday we had an audience with the Chief Executive Officer of the British Legion, and he spoke of the ways in which the British Legion, the equivalent of Australia's Return and Services League, support veterans both during their service and after their service has concluded. A few minutes ago we had a commemoration service for 3 young British Marines. Those Marines were fellow soldiers serving with the son of our tour guide. And so you can see that the service of our soldiers is quite close to all of us. We're not too many steps removed. In the town of Ypres, a few days ago, we had an audience with the Deputy Burgomaster, the Deputy Mayor, and he spoke of when the Pope visited Ypres in 1985, and the Pope said that Ypres, which was a town destroyed, completely destroyed by war, he said that the town of Ypres was now an ambassador for peace. And 30 years on, that message is still very important for all of us today.